You know what's great about monsters? Most of them are polite enough to stay inside books, legends, or badly animated movies. But not these. The creatures you're about to meet are still part of daily life in West Africa. They weren't locked in history. They weren't tamed by science. People still see them, fear them, offer sacrifices to them. And depending on the village, they're treated more seriously than wild animals or criminal gangs. These beasts come from a mix of West African mythology, oral traditions, local folktales, and spiritual belief systems like Vodun and traditional animism. Which means every one of them has a home, a story, and in some cases, a victim. Their roots stretch across Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, the Ivory Coast, and beyond. And no, they're not all the same. Some seduce, some stalk. One floats into your house pretending to be a bug. Most tourists never hear about them, but if you ask the right elder or the wrong priest, they might tell you what still hides in the forest or glows in the dark just outside your window. Some of these monsters have been blamed for missing children, some for wasting diseases, others for voices in the woods that call your name. So, think you're brave? Think you're rational? Let's see if you'd survive a single night in Togo. Let's start with the one that looks like a firefly but drinks your blood. They say you should never swat a glowing bug in West Africa, because what if that bug is actually hungry? The Adze comes from the Yu people of Ghana and Togo, and is one of the most feared creatures in their folklore. By day, it hides in plain sight. By night, it transforms into a glowing insect, usually a firefly, and slips through cracks in walls, keyholes, or mosquito nets. Once inside, it doesn't bite. It feeds, slowly, quietly. From the chest, the neck, the arms, you won't scream because you won't know it's there. Victims of the Adze are said to waste away with no medical explanation, and some healers insist they can see the creature's spiritual trail on the skin. In its true form, the Adze is a humanoid entity, twisted, sharp-toothed, with bulging eyes and a ribcage that always shows. But no one sees that form unless it's caught. And capturing an Adze is almost impossible. You need specific rituals, protections, and the will to face a bloodsucker that's already inside your house. So next time something glows near your bed, think twice before you relax. Because what's worse than a vampire? A vampire small enough to get under your door. But don't worry, the next one doesn't need to sneak in. It's already waiting above you. Deep in the caves near the borderlands of the Ivory Coast, there's something older than any tribe, any kingdom, any god. The locals call it the Grootslang, and unlike the South African version, this one doesn't roam open deserts. It coils in the damp blackness of forbidden caverns where light dies instantly and echoes don't come back. It's said to be a monster born when the world was still unsure of what shapes to give its creatures. There's a fusion of two unfinished ideas: the strength and greed of an elephant with the endless hunger of a serpent. Some say it has massive tusks that spiral backward. Others claim its scales shimmer like wet obsidian and its body stretches longer than 10 huts laid end to end. But all agree on one thing: it hoards treasure. Gold, ivory, ancient weapons, sacred stones, and it punishes anyone foolish enough to try and take even a sliver. Whole teams of illegal miners have vanished in regions where Grootslang caves are said to exist. Contraband runners who use tunnels to avoid detection have disappeared without a sound. Their gear is found later, twisted, melted, or soaked in blood. The elders say you can smell the Grootslang before it appears, a mix of earth, rot, and something metallic, like coins sweating from fear. But while this one guards gold, the next one just wants your children. In Sierra Leone, parents used to tie charms around their children's ankles before bed, not for decoration, for protection. Because there's something small out there that doesn't knock, doesn't talk, and doesn't leave footprints. The Tokoloshe might be the most unsettling thing on this list, precisely because of how quiet it is. While its roots are often traced back to southern African folklore, stories of a similar creature haunt the rural regions of Sierra Leone, especially near the thick inland forests. The Tokoloshe is described as a tiny, human-like being with leathery skin, sharp nails, and a swollen head. It walks with a limp. It never blinks. And according to some accounts, it can only be seen by people who've taken shamanic brews that open the third eye, which means most people never see what took their child. They just hear something at night. A giggle, a patter of feet on the roof, then silence. One village near Bo still refuses to let children sleep on the floor after what they call the laughing night, a stormy evening when 3 families reported hearing laughter outside, and by morning, 3 toddlers were gone without a trace. The doors weren't broken, the windows were locked. No one was arrested, and no one has slept with their feet uncovered since. The Tokoloshe doesn't care if you believe in it. It only cares if your child is within reach. Let's go from tiny troublemaker to full-on aquatic nightmare. She's always near the water, brushing her hair. Her skin glows like wet bronze, her eyes shine like polished shells, and her voice doesn't echo. It wraps around you. Mammy Water is the name given to a class of aquatic spirits feared and worshipped across Nigeria, Ghana, and several parts of coastal West Africa. She appears as a stunning woman from the waist up, but below the surface, her body shifts into that of a serpent or shimmering fish. Men who see her often claim it was love at first sight. Some even follow her into the water, willingly. That's the last anyone ever sees of them. Entire fishing villages have stories of canoes found adrift with all the nets intact, but the boatmen gone. Families still warn young men not to stare too long into lakes, not to follow voices in the rain, and never to accept combs or bracelets found near the shore. Some say Mammy Water takes you to her underwater palace and drowns you with kindness. Others believe she keeps you alive, trapped in a trance, feeding off your life force while the world above forgets your name. There are even modern reports from lagoon-side cities where swimmers vanish during calm weather, with no sign of current or attack. The priests say it's a calling, and if she chooses you, no lifeguard can bring you back. She's gorgeous, until she drowns you. But some monsters don't seduce their prey. They lure them with kindness. From the front, he looks perfect. A smooth voice, sharp clothes, eyes that promise safety and secrets at the same time. But the Kishi isn't interested in charm. It's interested in hunger. In Angolan and Nigerian folklore, the Kishi is a two-faced demon, literally. Its front is human, used to seduce, flatter, and gain trust. But the back of its head reveals its true nature. The face of a snarling hyena with jagged teeth and a mouth that opens wider than should be possible. When it finds a woman alone, the Kishi speaks gently, compliments her beauty, shows kindness, and waits. It never forces, never rushes. It lets the victim come closer, lower her guard, maybe even fall in love. And when she does, when she's too close to run, the head rotates or the body twists, and the hyena does what it was made to do. In some villages, elders say the Kishi is a warning against trusting appearances. Others claim it's a spirit of vengeance, targeting women who broke hearts. Either way, its reputation is enough that girls are still told not to walk alone at dusk, not to speak to sweet-talking strangers, and never to follow someone into the woods, no matter how beautiful they sound. The Kishi doesn't chase. It waits. So, basically, your ex. And finally, we face the ones you never want to meet, because you never see them. Until it's too late. There are forests in Senegal and Gambia where no one speaks above a whisper. Not because of wild animals or spirits with claws, but because of something older, quieter, and far more invasive. The Forest Djinns are not seen. They are felt. Believed to inhabit sacred groves and untouched stretches of land, these entities do not hunt with teeth or weapons. They hunt with sound, confusion, and madness. Hunters who cross into the wrong area return mumbling incoherently or not at all. Those who cut down trees without permission are said to hear their names shouted from the canopy, even when no one else is around. At first, it's subtle. Paths that loop endlessly, trees that seem to move, familiar voices calling from deeper in the woods. But the deeper you go, the harder it becomes to think straight. Some victims have been found days later, naked, dehydrated, eyes wide open, whispering secrets to leaves. Others vanish entirely, never to be found, as if the forest itself swallowed them. Elders say the Djinns don't protect nature out of love. They protect it out of instinct. And if you disturb the balance, they don't need to touch you to destroy you. They just twist your thoughts until you run, until you scream, until you forget who you are and why you ever entered. These forests are marked not by signs, but by silence. So listen carefully. When the birds stop singing, it's time to leave. Call them spirits, demons, guardians, or myths. But in West Africa, these monsters aren't bedtime stories. They are woven into rituals, warnings, and the way villages are built. Beds are raised off the floor because of the Tokoloshe. Boys are forbidden from wandering near lagoons after sunset because of Mammy Water, and if someone goes missing in the woods, no one dares say it was just an accident. Because in places where belief and survival go hand in hand, monsters don't need claws to kill. They need only to be remembered. So maybe you're safe right now, with the lights on and your door locked. Maybe you'll even laugh at these stories. But when something flickers outside your window, or you hear footsteps above the ceiling when no one else is home, you might remember the Adze, the Kishi, or the Djinns, and you might wonder if some monsters don't haunt places at all. They haunt people. So you still want to visit West Africa? Cool. Just don't follow the fireflies.